A house explosion that rocked a Jeffersonville neighborhood overnight is our top story here at noon. I'm Gabriel Gonzalez in for Brooke Hash. That explosion injured 5 people at a home in the Capitol Hill subdivision on Washington Way around 11:40 last night. Our Ian Hardwitt and Alyssa Newton are in the Capitol Hills neighborhood. Ian, what is that looking like right now?
Gabe, this isn't as bad as the last explosion this neighborhood saw 6 years ago because the houses nearby still have their windows intact. You can see the exploded house here. This is the basement we're looking inside of right now. Again, 5 people here were injured. 2 of them had to be airlifted out to the hospital. All 5 were hospitalized. A neighbor nearby tells us that they did have pretty severe burns when they came outside of the home, and that neighbor actually confirmed with us the video you saw off the top. The guy who took that, Ronaldo, he actually pulled some of those people out of the burning flames. He said some of them were even missing fingers. Now there's one more thing I want to show y'all over here. As you can look, the dirt is overturned. Now a neighbor tells us this is where CenterPoint Gas actually dug up some of the gas lines out here. But I want to reiterate something real important here. The fire officials, Jeffersonville Fire, they still do not know what the cause of this fire was. But I mentioned there was another explosion in this neighborhood. Right through this tree line over here back in 2019, there was one other home that exploded. It destroyed several of the nearby homes, and you can see from up above just how close these 2 home explosions were. One man died in that 2019 explosion, but his wife did survive. And like I said, there were several houses that were destroyed in that. But back here over on Washington Way, Jeffersonville Fire still figuring out what exactly led up to this. Gabe, I understand you were here this morning.
Yeah, I was there this morning. When I was there, it was about 8:30 this morning. There was still smoke coming from all of that brush right behind you. Is there anything like that? Could you smell anything right now?
You can still smell the fire, Gabe, but we can't see any of that smoke that you were talking about. It's clearly out. There are no fire officials standing by. But like I said, they're still figuring out what caused this fire. For now, I'm live in Jeffersonville. Ian Hardwitt, WHAS11 on your side.
All right, Ian, thank you for that update, and we will have more on our evening shows later tonight. Well, moving on now, Bardstown police say a man who shot at officers and barricaded himself in a home for 5 hours overnight is in jail this morning. It started around 10 last night when police responded to shots fired in the 100 block of Evergreen Court. They said they found 43-year-old Travis Bowman armed and aggressive, who immediately barricaded himself inside of a house. Over the next few hours, he fired multiple rounds at officers. A Kentucky State Police special response team assisted. Bowman was taken into custody at the Nelson County Correctional Center. He is charged with both attempted murder and wanton endangerment of a first responder. A Louisville mother is suing an online firearms company after she says it sold a gun illegally to her underage son, who used it to end his own life. The lawsuit claims the company did not attempt a background check, and his mother told our Alex Dieterer, had they done so, her son could still be alive.
Henry is my oldest child, and he was just a beautiful soul. Anybody that knew him seemed to love him.
Just over a month after graduating from Seneca High School, 18-year-old Henry Willis took his own life.
And in his teen years, he began to have significant mental health symptoms, but significantly the 6 months leading up to his death.
On July 6, 2023, Henry bought a ghost gun kit from online Nebraska-based firearm seller Husky Armory. Federal law requires handgun buyers to be 21. On July 30th, after the gun was shipped to his front door, Henry turned the gun on himself.
There just wasn't anybody like him.
His mother, Laura Herp, is now suing Husky Armory and its parent company, Up North Media LLC, alleging the companies were not licensed by the ATF and illegally sold Henry the gun kit without verifying his age or conducting a background check.
Henry's not old enough. He would have failed a background check had he walked into an actual live licensed gun store, given the mental health challenges that he was facing.
Everytown law attorney Eric Tershwell and Louisville attorney Tad Thomas have filed the lawsuit on Herp's behalf.
In January of 2023, the Jefferson County Family Court issued a protective order against Henry. This protective order prohibited him from possessing a firearm.
This was avoidable. And this should not have happened. This sale should not have been made.
Do you believe that Henry would still be here if he didn't have access to a website like this?
Yes, I do. I know he would be struggling, but I think he would be here.
Herp is suing to hold the companies accountable.
Let's fight for things that are important and things that are wrong. And for me, I'm doing it in his honor.
Her family moving forward without their eldest son, hoping to save other families from the pain of losing a loved one. Alex Dieterer, WHAS11 on your side.
The firearm company did not return our request for a statement. The lawsuit has been filed in Jefferson Circuit Court. A boater was injured last night after an accident on Taylorsville Lake. It happened in Spencer County around 8 o'clock. You can see from this picture, it looks like the fishing boat launched out of the lake onto the banks and then into the woods. Multiple agencies went to help the boater, who was taken to the hospital for their injuries. All right, let's get you some weather now with meteorologist Matthew Willoughby. Matthew, it looks like a pretty nice day outside, but I think the good news is we are finally over those heat advisories that we had for what, a week straight?
Yeah, full week straight. Finally relieved to see that heat go away. Still a little warm today overall, but yeah, finally not going to see that extreme heat we've seen over the past week or so. We do have a few clouds out there for us and a few rain showers on radar as well. But as we look at current temperatures, still a little bit warm outside. 83 degrees in Louisville, 87 degrees in Shepherdsville, down at Elizabethtown, 87 degrees, even 90 in Campbellville. Overall, looking at feel-like temperatures, still a little warm outside. Upper 90s, even Springfield at 100 degrees for those feel-like temperatures. Some of those weather headlines we are tracking for you. Those rain showers will bring some brief relief on the way for us today. And we got temperatures dropping even more heading towards tomorrow, and expect a gorgeous weekend on tap here. Starting to see some of those showers and storms develop into a line across our area, at least zooming up to Newcastle. Still seeing a few light showers, but as you drop you down, starting to see a few heavier showers into Irvington and Fort Knox, even out into Brandingsburg as well for the start of this afternoon. So a few showers and thunderstorms will be rolling through. Overall, looking at those current dew points, still a little bit into the humid to tropical range so far for this afternoon. And as you take it as far as what's ahead, yeah, like just as I said, and we've been talking about it just for the last couple of days, we have a gorgeous weekend in store for you. And we'll be timing out what you can expect coming up in just a few minutes. We'll send it back over to you, Gabe.
All right, sounds good. Thank you, Matthew. It's the first day in class for Greater Clark County students, and one school in particular is very excited to be back for another year for two big reasons. This is the final year for the current Parkwood Elementary School building, which will be demolished next year when a new school building opens. That's when it'll also be rebranded from the Parkwood Pirates to the Parkwood Phoenix. But this year, all the buzz is around the school's new dual language immersion program.
It's the only one in the district, and it's currently the only one in southern Indiana. So it's an 80-20 model. So our kindergartners are taught 80% of the day in Spanish and 20% in English.
All kindergartners?
All kindergartners in the dual program.
The assistant principal right there, Carson Rose, says the goal is that by the time they graduate, they're not only bilingual, they're biliterate, which is highly marketable as they go through middle and high school. Well, in 1 week, it's back to school for JCPS. On Wednesday, JCPS answered the biggest question from you: how are the buses? JCPS says it's got enough drivers, but LMPD is still short on crossing guards. WHAS11's Ian Hardwitt and photojournalist Levi Hammer report on safety and traffic as school comes back.
78 LMPD crossing guards like James Wilkins help kids get to school.
But if I can get anybody over the fear of working in the streets, anybody can do this job.
Currently, the department's about 30 crossing guards short of its full capacity.
If you're a grandparent or retiree, we're looking for those people to help.
JCPS is always hiring bus drivers, but Rob Folk, head of JCPS Transportation, said he has enough for the first day of school.
We had our first scrimmage today for our buses. They were all within our parameters that we feel like it was successful this morning.
That marks an improvement over 2 years ago when practice routes ran an hour behind schedule, leading to the JCPS busing disaster. With buses back on the road, remember it's illegal to blow past the stop sign on the side of the bus. Driver Jeffrey Pinnock says it happens at least 5 times every day.
That's one of the scariest things too, because your door's open, your kids are getting ready to go off, and you see this car coming down the side, and you're like, whoa.
It's a risky move that could be caught on cameras, now recording on all buses.
Both inside and outside the bus. So vehicles that pass the bus while the stop placard is out will be seen, recorded, and could be prosecuted.
Superintendent Brian Yearwood also said to expect long car rider lines on the first day, especially if a school struggled with it previously. He's tapping JCPS police for assistance.
Officers will be out to help navigate some of that.
Here at Norton Elementary School, the line is known to stretch all the way down this road out in front of the school, blocking some of these businesses like the animal hospital. And that line will even stretch down to the Brownsboro Road intersection further down, 2 miles away from the new VA hospital. The roadway construction backups by the VA site are a Kentucky Transportation Cabinet responsibility.
We've notified all of the schools and we've got some plans in place to stage our buses a little bit earlier.
Leaving the delays of 2023 in the dust as new construction dust could get in the way this year. In Louisville, Ian Hardwick, WHAS 11 on your side.
As DEI programs are being canceled across the country, a Louisville Metro Council member is promoting diverse voices to try and make the Clifton neighborhood more inclusive. Councilman Andrew Owen and the Louisville Office for Women invited people to take part in the second artist-led night walk. The walk was guided by Louisville poet Robin Garner. It focused on gathering insights from women and gender diverse individuals about their experiences in public places.
Because women change things. When we come together as a collective, we are powerful. Women are powerful, and we're changing things. Like, we're just taking walks and we're making it beautiful and we're sending a message.
If you were unable to attend the walk, you can fill out a survey to share your thoughts on safety and inclusion in the district. You can find the link in the Links Mentioned tab on our website, WHAS11.com.